My name is Alex Aids. It's best just to address the Aids-ophant in the room. Yes, I am the principal's son. And no, I can't get you out of that detention. I'm sorry. I know what you're all thinking. One of my commencement speakers is the son of my principal. Worst speaker ever. Hashtag this guy is lame, hashtag and looks funny. And I would agree. I probably am the worst commencement speaker ever, and I am lame, and I do look funny. Instead of getting Beyonce's sister, you got Wiley Aids' son. Instead of getting Solange, you got So Lame. Seriously, is this some sort of reverse senior prank the school's playing on all of you? Why am I here? Well, probably because now I'm an elementary school teacher at Lusher, which returns us all to the prior thought, why am I here? There is something very sad about the fact that the only people in this auditorium excited to see me up here are the 6 to 10-year-olds. To be honest, after working with elementary schoolers for 2 years now, I'm intimidated by you high schoolers. You see, the students I teach implicitly trust teachers. You big kids implicitly don't trust teachers, which means I have to work extra hard. I doubt even my dashing looks and Herculean bod can save me now. Why are you laughing? What adds to this intimidation is that you are smarter than me. Science has proven that as you get older, you get dumber. You're probably wondering, where did he get information to make such a bold claim? Well, I can't source the proof because I kind of just made that up. You see, would a smart person do that? I remember when I went to Lusher High School, we were in the first graduating class to survive all 4 years. Being a student at Lusher was akin to being a settler in the first European colony of Louisiana. The times were hard, the land was dangerous. Our student body was made up mainly of pirates, and some of the practices were barbaric. And of course, there was that bout of yellow fever. The school nurse was never busier. I mean, back then we didn't even have lockers. Like cavemen. We had to hunch over and carry backpacks up and down 4 flights of stairs. I mean, can you imagine that? Oh. But I remember my graduation. I was ready to burst into the world and leave Lusher behind. I had been at Lusher since kindergarten, got into my top choice college, which was very far away from here, and was ready to see something new. Who knows where you'll end up after Lusher? Well, judging by the fact that 3 of the 4 speakers up here now work at Lusher, the odds are pretty good you might be coming back. Miss Reithinger's like, yes, yes. Working at Lusher isn't bad at all. I can sincerely say that. It's actually the best job in the world. Though there is something a little weird about working with fellow teachers who remember that time I peed my pants on the playground and cried about it for 2 hours straight. That was in high school, by the way. But I digress. Believe it or not, I actually have some legitimate thoughts to share with all of you. Consider the Project Pride rule, be responsible. The dictionary defines responsibleness as having an obligation to do something. Thank you and good luck. Just kidding. You need to know that you are capable of having a positive impact on other people, and being young or in college is no excuse for inaction. You are ready to do something, and I don't mean you're ready to go party-hardy with your dudes and dudettes, like you kids say. Nothing. You are ready to go do something meaningful, so go do it. Now is the time. In fact, when you're young, that's actually probably the best time to jump into action. You're brave, bold, smart, idealistic, have energy, and you don't know any better. And guess what? In the upcoming years, you will meet like-minded people who contain the same action potential. You have a brain, you have intuitions, experiences, opinions, ideas, and they're all very valid at this point. Use them beginning now. By the end of this evening, you will have a high school education, which is nothing to scoff at. Use it. Youth is not an excuse for passivity. Volunteer, vote, watch the news, listen to the people around you, observe the community you live in. Start a nonprofit, make change. Start a business, make money, why not? You're an adult and you have a top-ranked education. Something that many people in this world, this state, and even this city would be very jealous of. From this point on, every breath you take, every move you make is an opportunity to create a change. This Yes. This is the freedom that leaving high school allows. Don't let the fact that you're 18 years old be an excuse for taking a summer camp vacation from the real world around you. That's irresponsible. Instead of finding new and creative ways to check your Insta chats on the tweet book, use your instinctive creativity to make a real difference for the people around you. Part of being responsible is remembering that the world is not in your phone, and it's not on your favorite social media platform. The world is out there, right there for you to see. It's not down inside of a luminescent rectangle. Don't mistake tap dancing your fingers on a screen with grasping the world with your fingertips. Now, excuse me while I take a selfie with all of you. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Wait, I can't wait to upload that. Anyways, Lusher, class of 2015, take charge. Use it, whatever it is for you, and be responsible with the fortune you contain. Most of you probably don't know this, but I contain a rare psychic ability to look into mass amounts of graduating high schoolers' futures, okay? You ready for this? It's a gift I used to be ashamed of, but now I only use the powers for good. So excuse me while I look into the future of all of you right now. Okay, looking good, looking good. Oh my gosh, looking good, looking good, looking good. Congratulations, looking good. Okay, so it's looking good for most of you, except for that guy right there. Man, be careful. Anyways, like my father, Mr. Eights, used to always say, Alex, once you start pretending to be a psychic, it's time to stop talking. And I will. But one more thing. I want to leave you with the words that I often tell my own elementary school students. Boys and girls, don't put your fingers there, that's yucky. And also, be loud, have presence, take risks. Class of 2015, be loud, you're loving this. Have presence, take risks, and be responsible. Congratulations, and good luck.
Short. Okay, let's go. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jemila Dunham, and like all of you will be in a few minutes, I am a graduate of Lusher Charter High School. Now, I just want to take a second to acknowledge this moment because this is huge. I want to celebrate all of you because you've done something amazing. The position that you're finding yourself in right now is one of privilege and one of distinction. Not only have you acquired a high school education, something only 73% of Louisiana students do, but you've done so at one of the most prestigious and renowned institutions in the country. This is something to be very, very proud of. And since we're talking about pride and Lusher, I'd like to talk a little bit about one of the principles of Project Pride, which is kindness. As you may have realized from the introduction, I'm sort of the black sheep of this group of commencement speakers. To be clear, I am not a sheep, but I am black, so I hope that that was a well-placed phrase. It's true, I am a human, I promise. So my fellow speakers are all doing very important work here at Lusher as teachers, and I play bass. That's literally it, that's my job, that's all I do. Thank you. I was not expecting that reaction. That's great. Fortunately, I get to play in front of an audience and not the mirror in my bathroom, so I think that's something. I've been fortunate enough to travel all across America, Canada, the UK, Australia, twice actually, opening for Katy Perry and Kylie Minogue. Now, for those of you who don't know who Kylie Minogue is, she's sort of like the Australian Madonna. Ask your parents about her. She's legit, I promise. So in my travels across the world and through the music industry, I've come across one constant: kindness trumps talent. Now, I'm gonna say it anyway, but I hope that it goes without saying that you kind of need like some talent. Like it's a requirement. You can't be incompetent up here. But that which not needing to be said being said, no one wants to work with a jerk. So you know those people who are like, oh, I can't have a 5-minute solo with like flames and explosions and American Eagles flying around, like, ugh. You know, I've seen so many people, so many phenomenal musicians who've gotten passed on gigs because they're just the worst. Guys, don't be the worst. It pays to be nice. It literally pays to be nice. You will get paid being nice. Listen, this is real life. This is 100%. Trust trust me. I just got paid yesterday. It was great. I loved it. And you know why I got paid? Anybody? Anybody know? Stop it. Because I treat the people I work with and the people I work for with the way that I would want to be treated. I mean, it's the golden rule. There's a reason why you've heard it all of your lives. So I'm willing to bet a lot of money, like $5. I never said I got paid well, so. I'm willing to bet that most of you will choose careers that'll allow you to make bets that are more than $5, but I can guarantee that what I'm telling you is going to be applicable and valuable. Studies have shown that being nice can boost your health and happiness, lower stress levels, and make you more attractive. So like, do it for yourself if for no other reason. I'm not going to tell you that being nice is always easy because that would be a lie. It would just be not true. A couple months ago, I worked with a tour manager who was the bane of my existence. The aforementioned worst. But I always remained professional and treated him with the kindness that I wish he had because those were the values that I learned in school. And you know what happened to him? He got fired because it does not pay to be mean. Seriously, I don't know how many times I have to say this. Just be nice. It's real easy. From everything that I know about you guys, the graduating class of 2015, you're really great young men and women. So I didn't come here to teach you what being kind means. I came here to tell you that there is a direct correlation between kindness and success. I moved from Boston to New York the fall after I graduated, and I've been touring ever since. I can say with complete confidence that this wouldn't be the case if I didn't treat the artists I play for with the professional and personal kindness that was instilled in me here right at Lusher. Having walked the same halls as you, taken the same classes as you, with the same teachers as you, I know the lessons you've learned, and I urge you to carry them with you everywhere you go. They're absolutely invaluable. So, class of 2015, I congratulate you on this major milestone, and I wish you the best of luck in this next chapter. Congratulations.
All right, I'm taller, so there we go. All right, let's give it up for class of 2015 one more time. I can't hear you. Again. All right, be quiet. Okay, so I know you guys wanted Beyonce's sister Solange, but you got something so much better. You got Lexi's sister. All right, 6 years ago, as many of you know, I was a student here, and from experience, I can tell you that the school has never been better. 6 years ago, we were just getting a field and just creating our first varsity sports teams. Today, not only is that field actually completely built, but the sports teams, which has included so many of you graduating seniors, are continually winning such games and championships as the state championship for the boys swim team and soccer team, which is incredible. In addition, there were also an innumerable amount of arts and academic accomplishments as well. So it must be mentioned that you guys have truly left a legacy. It must also be mentioned that your parents, teachers, fellow Lusher alumni, and the rest of the Lusher community are all so proud of you, your accomplishments, and even already proud of all of your future accomplishments. So for a second, let's travel back in time, way back to 2009. I, as many of you already know, graduated from Lusher during that year. The dark ages, as some may call it. On that day, I can still recall shaking a lot. Nerves being rattled when my name was about to be called. However, once my name was announced, I gracefully and proudly walked across the stage in a moment that to me is almost lost in time. In amazement, I realized that I had just become a Lusher alum. And eventually a Xavier alum. Thank you, Dr. Francis. And the pride that I felt was evident by my enormous smile and elegant gait. I was now a part of a family that I could and would forever call home, and it was one of the greatest days of my life. Well, class of 2015, today is your day. You are now Lusher alum, so you are now a part of the family. However, with membership in this family comes great responsibilities. So guys, I want you to remember this. When you each leave your prodigal backgrounds at Lusher and become even more successful as adults, do not forget the laws to live by, the Project Pride rules. Despite what you may think about getting out of here and moving on to a whole different world, do not forget that you will continue to use these for the rest of your life. Do not forget to respect people and property. One of our favorite writers and commencement speakers, David Foster Wallace, he once said that we tend to look at life through a single, self-centered lens. In his 2005 commencement address, Wallace mentions a life scenario that I will now paraphrase for you. He says that after leaving a long day from your overworked, perhaps underpaid job, you feel a ridiculous amount of exhaustion. You finally get to leave your job at 5, but then you remember that you have nothing to eat at home and you have to go to the grocery store. Cranky and tired, you muster up the energy to enter the grocery store. Once you've grabbed all of your items, you move towards the checkout line only to realize that there are 10 other people in the same line, and one of them has a crying baby. And then you angrily start to think, oh, my life is so hard. I am so exhausted. I am so overworked. This line is so long and I am so tired. However, as Wallace mentions, when do we ever stop to think, how do the other 10 people in line feel? Are they tired or exhausted? Are they overworked at their jobs? What about the parent in line with the screaming child? Is he or she tired? Is he or she stressed out too? So let's just not forget the point of this speech. Do not forget to be respectful. After a long day of school and soon to be college courses, you tend to think about how tired and exhausted you are, how difficult your life is, how much work you have to do, and how your teachers make you feel so stressed out. But do you ever stop to think about how tired and exhausted your teacher is, or how much work he or she may have, or how much he or she may struggle? Something I know from experience, as well as I'm sure the other Lusher teachers. So as a Lusher alum, because that is now who you are, remember that you do not live in this world alone. As a Lusher alum, you must always remember to not only be respectful, but be considerate. Not only because it is the morally correct thing to do, but also because that is what we do as part of the Lusher family. So class of 2015, don't attack me. So class of 2015, before you leave here today, before you move on to college, before you walk across this stage and move closer to becoming the increasingly successful individuals that you were meant to be, never forget to follow the Project Pride rules, and always remember to be respectful. Thank you.
We're almost there. So, I know the number one person you're looking forward to hearing from right now as your final commencement speaker is one of your teachers, right? Don't answer that. I know the answer, of course. I'm a teacher. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mr. Logan, also known as Mr. Logan's brother, the new guy, or who's that young teacher who's closer in age to his students than he is to most of the rest of the faculty? That's me. Now, I realize that it's a little strange to have both folks who you know and also people so young being your commencement speakers. But when I graduated from college, how many years ago was that? About 24 months ago? My college commencement speaker was, and I'm serious, 24 years old. Just 2 years older than most of the folks who were graduating. So let me tell you right now, you could do a lot worse than having folks who are 6 years older than you speaking here. In fact, between the four of us here today, we have 93 years worth of life experience. So listen up, kiddos. I don't have much time with you right now. So I just wanted to share, to wrap up by telling you a little bit about how Lusher has changed over the last few years. I'm not that old, but when I was born, Lusher only went up to 6th grade and was only in one building on Willow Street. Since then, we have moved to 4 different campuses and started 2 new schools. I know Baby Yates was joking earlier about not having lockers when we were here, but let me tell you, many things were different. When we started the high school in January 2006, just after Katrina, we were all crammed into 4 classrooms in the upstairs of an old courthouse at the former Lusher Middle School site on Carrollton. The following year, when we moved to the Ferret campus, the only 2 bathrooms in the whole building were the 2 outside of the cafeteria. So if you were on the 4th floor on the Nashville side of the building, you had to plan ahead. The gym had a solid, bare concrete floor with metal bolts poking up out of the ground and no functioning lights. And yes, we still used it. And the first Lusher graduation was not here in McAlister, but in a lecture hall in the upstairs of the UC here on Tulane's campus, because the first class was so small, we could fit everyone into a lecture hall. And lastly, between our freshman and senior years, our class grew from 24 students to a whopping 73. And now y'all are almost twice that. And guys, this wasn't during some time decades ago when only a few folks were alive to see it. This was 6 years ago. So how did all this change happen so quickly? A lot of hard work. Seriously. I remember 1 week before the first day of classes at the Ferret campus, the school had to send out letters saying that we were going to delay the start of the school year by 7 days because the building didn't have working plumbing yet and there still was paint drying on the walls. I could share plenty of stories right now about how things were crazy back then and how much folks worked to get the school started, but that's not where the work ended. Although it was the early classes that set the stage for what would come later by getting the place started, it's you all who have continued in actually smoothing things out, polishing up the school, and turning Lusher High into the top-notch place it is today. That's your legacy, bringing this school into maturity. The simple old rule of do your best work isn't just something that applies to school classrooms. This is something that has carried this school and community through an incredible development over the last few years. Doing your best work doesn't just mean pushing through during the dramatic and pioneering times when things are just getting started. It also means continuing to work hard and keeping a positive spirit, even when the honeymoon phase has worn off and things become routine. This is exactly what y'all have been doing during your 4 years here. It was easy for us to get excited when we knew everything was new, but you are the ones who have truly raised the bar, even in the future. That type of work takes time. So when you leave here to start college or other new adventures next fall, don't lose that spirit and tenacity when you get used to your new schedule and routine. That's when your best work will really come out. One more thing before I go. Having been a Lusher senior myself, and having taught 90% of you over the last few months, I can confidently say that I have a pretty good idea of how excited many of you are to be heading out and moving on. You can clap for that if you want. Told you. You're ready to try something new. And some of you, frankly, may even just be excited to leave high school and just be done with all this. I know I had a good number of friends in my class who, when they graduated, said they were so excited to leave, they just didn't plan on coming back any time after they left. But you know what? Eventually, almost every one of them did. Clearly, not everyone came back to work at the school, but we still have time. But most folks kept some kind of connection with their teachers and the staff at the school, even if it was just to stop in and say hi. It just took a while. It'll probably take you all a while to realize it, but the love and support that you have received during these last few years is virtually unprecedented in many places. So enjoy the excitement and enthusiasm of finishing up this chapter of your life and moving on to new and exciting things. But remember that regardless of how excited you are to head off into the world right now, I can promise you that regardless of what you think right now, maybe not next year or the year after, but at some point, almost every one of you will be back through here to say hello. But for now, know that once you step out of this room tonight, you won't be Lusher students anymore, you'll be Lusher alums, just like the rest of us. And on behalf of the 4 of us here tonight and the rest of the Lusher alumni family, I am very excited to say, welcome to the family. Congratulations, class of 2015.
Who knew that the class of 2009 would be speaking today to the class of 2015? We have really grown, and time has passed very quickly. I think we're ready to get down to talking a little bit about your accomplishments now, so I'm going to ask Mr. Wagner to come up and share some information with us.